My name's Scott Ralston and I am the founder and the owner of This Is Football. It's a 20-year business. We opened in 2003 in Richmond, Australia, and obviously over that time it's been a pretty incredible journey and one I'm looking forward to sharing with you right now. I suppose the best place to start is the beginning, and the beginning was probably before Australia. My time as a child growing up in the UK and certainly being a very football obsessed young kid. Playing football from as soon as I could walk, I was certainly encouraged to play football, and as soon as my working career started, it started in a sports shop in a little place called Bicester in Oxfordshire, England, where as a 14-year-old kid I was selling sports memorabilia and related products at local markets, local events, and really grew my passion, I guess, both towards the football, which was always there since being a little kid, but also towards the actual business side of sport. And I guess just from my own upbringing as a child with my own family and certainly my own father and watching his business journey in the UK, it certainly taught me at a very young age how you can start with something very small and with a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of passion, you can turn that into something really great. The journey was incredible. We opened a little shop in Richmond, Swan Street, 197 Swan Street, Richmond, which was fundamentally the size of a small person's bedroom. It was tiny. I only started the business with 10,000 Australian dollars, and with that $10,000 I had to both fit out the store, pay my rent, buy the stock, and try and make This Is Football work from literally nothing. On the first day, with much fanfare and much excitement, I opened the door, expecting the world to come through the door, and no one did. I made 2 sales that day, and I still recall even now the very first sale This Is Football ever made, and it was a silver football, and that was with huge excitement. But that first day opened and the first day closed, and I'd made $46. I guess it was a real eye-opener as a 23-year-old kid. This wasn't going to be easy. This was going to take a lot of work, and it was going to take a lot of dedication, and working 7 days a week, really cutting down on all my expenses to really make sure I gave This Is Football every opportunity to succeed. And at that time, what we did was very unique, very, I suppose, European themed supporter wear merchandise that you just wouldn't see here in Australia. I just needed to make sure people knew I had it, and that was always the challenge, I guess, in those early years. And some of the most incredible early advertising opportunities that we had were all labour intensive. Things like pamphlet drops, door to door, after work had closed in the local area around Richmond, hanging out at local pubs at 2, 3 in the morning and handing out flyers to drunken patrons as they walked out of the pub after celebrating their team's wins. That was a better conversation. If their team lost, they probably weren't as interested to hear about This Is Football, but they were the only real opportunities I had to engage the sports mad community, the football mad community across Australia. And I guess by doing that and really engaging at the absolute grassroots foundation level of the football supporters, it certainly gave me a different appreciation of the business. And I guess by doing it that way, it certainly gave a level of authenticity. The communication, the passion and the experience was different. It was so genuine. I loved it, and I often got caught up in the fact that I was running a business and not just talking to them about their passions and my own passions. And I guess by doing that, those relationships were natural. They were fostered very early on. And a lot of those relationships, as I stand here 20 years later, they're still some of the strongest relationships we have, both individually and also with teams. It wasn't until around 2011 where we moved from our first shop into our second shop, and then into our third shop, which, if I talk about the, I guess the third shop for a while there, that fit out was the one I was most proud of. It was very unique in Australia. Again, we spent a lot of time creating a real football experience when you walk through that door. But there was a real transitioning happening within This Is Football, where I saw an opportunity to really transition from the retail side into the teamwear side of football. So we knew we had to have more space, and we gave all our attention, I guess, our resources to developing This Is Football's teamwear. The retail customers weren't the teamwear customers. So we were almost starting again in 2014, and I guess it was at that time where I knew the hard work starts again. I have to build new relationships. I don't have to. I wanted to go out there to those football clubs. I wanted to see how they ran. I wanted to watch them play. I wanted to feel the passion. Because I was there and I got so lost in the football world, a lot of those relationships I had were just so authentic. They were built on just genuine people caring about the same thing. Fundamentally, the growth of football in Australia and at grassroots level, which was always where the passion was at This Is Football, to provide global professional teamwear for these little tuckers who were really just starting off their football journeys, and providing our experience into how to do it in a way that made it concise and made it accurate at a very, very fundamental base level, so they weren't overwhelmed and engulfed by so much data and so many people they were working with. I always believed in myself that we could provide a level of service that would be unrivaled, unmatched, because I always thought I cared more. Whether or not that's true or not, I'm sure everybody cares. But I always felt like when a team connected to This Is Football, they were family. They were always family. And I guess as that, I was going to provide them a level of service that was unmatched. I wanted This Is Football and the teamwear we provided to them to be a part of their own community family. I don't lose sight on the people who helped me along the way. And as a naive 23-year-old kid who just had a dream and nothing else really, they guided me in a way that I will forever be thankful, whether it be through the actual assistance to build the shops, where I had support to actually create the fit outs at a financial value that was probably a lot less than it probably should have been. And also more than that, I guess from a business guidance standpoint, behind the scenes, how to run a business, having those people around me gave me a completely well-rounded opportunity to succeed. Those people are the reason why This Is Football's here today. They're certainly the reason why I sit here and forever feel thankful and grateful that in those early stages, I had the right people around me. They didn't expect a lot in return. I didn't have a lot in return to give them. Just gratitude. And this story is as much about the people along the way as it is about me and as about This Is Football. And it would be, I suppose, remiss of me not to talk about the staff and the team that I've had at This Is Football over the period of time, because we have been blessed. We've been blessed with a small team. We're a small business. We've obviously evolved from where we were, which was not a small business. It was like the smallest business that's probably ever existed. Over that period of time, we've had some incredible staff that's assisted us, both who are working with us today, but also who are on the roll of honour of This Is Football's past. I was really hopeful to find a team that understood the importance of deadlines, service, quality, all these things that needed to come together that were never going to be easy to provide a level of service which was exceptional. Immediately what comes into my mind is some 15, 16-year-old kids. Hardest working kids you'll ever see in your life. They were just incredible. They would literally stay back an hour or 2 hours after. They'd be late for some events they did because they wanted to make sure they got the stuff out. Again, how can I thank them now in 2023 for that? Because it's so difficult to really put into words all those different late nights, all those different kits that they got out to football clubs that probably would never understand the level of work that was involved in making sure we hit those deadlines.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I've been working at This Is Football for around about just a little bit more than 6 years. I was working retail jobs for a while, and then I was at uni and I was looking for something different. And as a footballer my whole life, as soon as I saw This Is Football, I was like, don't even have to read it, I'm in. So I started, I think, in second year of uni. And that was just doing your odd jobs, some of your warehousing, picking and packing, some printing of jerseys mainly. And obviously being in an atmosphere of other footballers, other soccer players, just an amazing place to be for me. And now over time, I've grown into a role which is head of development and IT. So I basically help the back end of This Is Football run, get the jerseys created, get the shorts created, get all that kind of stuff running, all of our operations, ensure that our club shops work.
Hi, my name's Pete. I've been working at This Is Football for 12 years now. So initially, funny enough, I stepped in to help out just with the retail side of things. And as it grew, I started developing a lot of accounts myself. And then it became evident that, myself working in retail was taking away from what I was doing. So I moved full-time into Teamwear itself, literally running the entire arm of one side of his business.
What I actually enjoy about working here and working with the team, I feel like it's genuinely very different here. We all really get along here well internally, but externally, we can genuinely have conversations with everyone we supply. And that's why I'm excited. You know, I will talk to a president who comes in here. I'll actually have a conversation, and not just to keep that relationship going, because I'm genuinely excited. I'm genuinely saying like, hey, this is something we've created for you. Like, what do you think?
The care factor, I think part of it shows as a result, it does feel like a family. Feel like you're working with people you've known for years, and even though you might have only met them for a very short period of time, we understand each other's dynamic, and I think that creates a better working environment, a more fun working environment. Oh yeah, so one of our colleagues got a coaching job in the UK, and we had a bit of fun with pranking him before he left and doing a photo shoot. He'd behind the white sheet, and Miles was doing some filming there, and just scared him. And I've never seen someone jump so high in my entire life, but it's funny.
I was as strong as my team, and without them, none of this would have or could have or will continue to happen. Everyone comes together in their own little unique way to provide a team, a family at This Is Football. I keep saying the word family, but it's true. It is family. They're people I really care about. We understand that our industry is largely built around volunteers, football clubs who largely have mums and dads and men and women charged to roles within their clubs. Some get paid, most don't, but they work really hard. The amount they care about their football clubs is phenomenal. And I guess at This Is Football, we have to match that. We have to care. Fortunately, we do care, but we really do have to care at a level that they care. I guess the admiration that I have for those people is phenomenal, because they're people like us. They're people like myself. I'm connected to football clubs at a personal level as well. So I know how hard it is. I know how many personalities you work with. And those people who do those roles, look, you have my gratitude. You had my admiration. It's phenomenal what you do. This Is Football. We have structures in place that can help even the most raw individual coming into a football club, a level of service that doesn't start and finish with providing them a shirt. It starts and finishes with really going into their committees and saying, we're here to help. We have the resources. We have the experience. Now let's create something special.
We work with clubs, 50, 100 people as well, and they're just as important as the ones with hundreds and thousands, whatever it is. And the ability to assist no matter who it is. And you see the smiles on the faces of the volunteers. They're like, wow, it's this easy kind of thing.
The feedback we've had and the testimonials we've had from the football clubs who have received the products and I guess the service that we provided to them has been incredible.
You know, I had one get back to me with amazing feedback, sent me photos, how excited all the kids were. And I see the photos of the kids wearing something that we helped create, that I helped create. It's not just about doing a job.
It's the appreciation from the clubs themselves, which actually says, you know what, we are a team. And then it gets us the opportunity, and I suppose it creates this idea in the mind that goes, you know what, now we're going to take this opportunity and we're going to make it even better in the future. Through those relationships at the community level, our reputation, I guess, in the market really started to get a lot of traction. It just organically moved into other areas, and I guess those were professional areas, professional sports clubs, and relationships with some of the most high-profile organisations in Australia. A member of the Nike family, and unbeknown to me, I'd actually been watching him in the UK on the terraces of Oxford United when he had his own personal journey within the football sports world in the UK. So we all immediately developed a bond. It gave us the opportunity to connect to the highest profile sporting events in the country, and certainly been involved in the 2014 Socceroo World Cup, 2018 Socceroo World Cup, and the most recent 2022 Socceroo World Cup as being the embellisher to the matchday uniforms. We didn't know at the time that opportunity would really help us develop the whole part of This Is Football as a business, to have a 10-year relationship with the most high-profile organisations in Australia has to tell us we're doing something right. Supporting the BBL and the WBBL, the Big Bash, here in Australia over the last 2 years, or the last 3 years now, and being the embellisher for their teamwear across all their teams. Even last year in 2022, what an incredible time that was, as we actually assisted the Sydney Swans grand final with their embellishment on actual grand final day. So I look back on that and think, yeah, what an incredible story that will be in the future to tell my grandkids that we were connected to the AFL Grand Final here in Australia. Let's talk about 2023 for a moment. I mean, to be involved in the Matildas journey and to see the way the development of the football in this country has started, I guess, in our journey in 2003 to our own discussion 20 years later in 2023, and seeing the way the football's developed over that time. Well, not only great profile opportunities for This Is Football, but personally, I love football. I love sport. I've always loved sport. So to say, This Is Football, we did those. Look, that is something that will always stay with This Is Football over the next 10, 20, 30, hopefully 40, 50 years. There's been such a shift at every level. I've got 2 daughters. These girls will tackle boys, and they don't care that there's girls or boys football anymore, because there's not. It's just football. And the boys, their heroes are some of the Matildas. Their favourite players are some of the Matildas. And we're blessed at This Is Football to be involved in an industry and to provide our own services into football clubs that are nurturing and developing kids at every level. I guess some of the initiatives that we have moving forward in 2023 and into the future are really built around a lot of those visions. Organisations such as the All Genders game within Melbourne University, providing the teamwear for the All Genders team there, where we can be a part of it at a very tangible level as well, and really understand and educate ourselves and really listen, I guess, how the growth of football has inspired so many different areas within our own communities. We've been very visual in supporting the women's side of the game here in Australia for many, many years. In fact, looking back to the development of This Is Football's teamwear range, and certainly when my 2 daughters were growing up, looking at it as doesn't really make sense to me at just a genuine level, why there wasn't more teamwear opportunities for women. My daughters grew up, or had to grow up, wearing men's shirts. That wasn't really acceptable to me. I didn't really feel like that was something that fitted within my own psyche and my own DNA. Listening to football clubs with women's teams and understanding this wasn't just my thoughts, these were thoughts of football clubs across Australia as well.
With the women's range, it's super exciting because for years and years, they've not been looked after, and we've put a lot of time and effort into developing a unique women's cut, something that they're comfortable in.
There was no conversations with any areas within our development or any shortcuts that involve the women's side of the creation of teamwear not being 100% equal at every level to the men's side and the youth side. So when we went to the football clubs of Australia, they could choose. They didn't have to buy women's, they didn't have to buy men's, but they could choose. You go, you know what, we can actually make a fundamental difference in society at the most fun level. Just kids kicking a football. So yeah, I guess that's the story of This Is Football, and it's been an incredible 20 years. Looking back on that time as a young kid in the UK, kicking a ball, it's almost incomprehensible for me to sit here right now as a 44-year-old father of 2 and think that little kid kicking the ball could actually develop into these incredible milestones and opportunities along the way. I certainly thank that little kid back in probably the 90s, maybe even later, maybe the 80s, because that little kid did a lot of things right.
I see how much Scott has done to get us to where we are, and that's super, super exciting to see how far we can get in the next 20 years.
Thank you for all the people out there in Australia for being a part of the journey along the way. Thank you to all the people who've charged us with the responsibility for the teamwear. Thank you to all the people who've helped me along the way to support the creation of This Is Football. Thank you to the staff at This Is Football at every level from 2003 to 2023, to the future staff, who I don't even know who they are yet. You're all been part of an incredible journey, and one that I sit here and I talk, but you all should be here behind me, and you all should be here in front of me, signing off together. But you're all here, and I thank you all. And I'm really excited to look into this next time we've got ahead and all these incredible opportunities and the way football is in Australia now, with the most incredible excitement And not just excitement, but ready to get down to work again, ready to work really hard again to create these new opportunities in the future. Cool. See you later, Mars. That's where you get, mate.